Hi friends, Sunday, June 7th, day number 84, and once again we're coming to the end of another workout week. So as we've done about the last 6 weeks or so, another active recovery day. The goal over the last 6 weeks of these active recovery days has been to give you guys different versions so that you can create a toolbox, so to speak, and come up with your own active recovery days based on how you guys feel, what you think works most effectively for you, and go from there. So, a couple of different things we've done before. Yoga class, one option, especially if you're somebody who needs to work on mobility. You're somebody probably like me that doesn't get as much recovery work after your workouts in each day as you would like to. Or you're just generally a yoga person. Second thing is going to be a piece of cardio, steady state, preferably single modality, but I mean that's up to you. If you have a rowing machine or a bike or something along those lines, you can mix it up. When it comes to that though for today, I want you to try and stay around 30 minutes. Not much more unless you're super comfortable and used to going for longer than that. Most of us, any more than that, it's not really active recovery, so to speak. It's more a conditioning workout. And I want you to try and stay about 60% on your intensity or output level. All right, so something that you could sustain for probably twice as long if it was that day's goal of a endurance workout, so to speak. All right, and then the third thing, which we utilized after MRF, given to us from Pure Physio and Dr. Matt Stevens, was a active recovery 20 to 30 minute workout that's based on movement. So maybe 4, 5, 6 different movements, rotate through for quality, low intensity again, 60% being the goal, and sustaining them for about 20 to 30 minutes of quality controlled paced out work. Now, when you're building these things out, you can pretty much do all kinds of things. You can, one, prioritize the recovery itself and choose movements you're very good at that don't tax you a lot, in which case it's just kind of like moving essentially for about 20-30 minutes. You can pick weaknesses and keep in mind, yes, I only want you at about 60%, in which case you're probably not going to get stronger when it comes to those movements, but by performing them in repetition over and over and over, you will become better at them, your body will develop more muscle memory for them, and the movement patterns will start to settle in more. So there is still a way of improving, even though the intensity is down probably significantly from where you might be if we were doing them for a workout. The third, and probably my choice in terms of doing something like this, would be finding things that you are deficient in. For example, if we have a hard time kipping when we're in a gym, when it comes to our gymnastic movements, because our core is weak and we have a hard time holding a hollow position or doing a hollow rock, that is something that done at low intensity probably could be a very good choice for this. If we have squat mobility issues, working on the ankle, working on the hips, whatever it might be. I mean, even if we're talking like a lateral step up onto a box, we're talking about pushing into a lizard stretch and leaning that knee forward before coming back, doing it a couple times, maybe switching back and forth, putting some air squats in there to challenge it, maybe some super vertical air squats. Think wall ball overhead squat kind of position. Even putting like a bench pistol in there or something along those lines, even if you're somebody that is capable of doing a pistol, RX, as prescribed to the floor, whatever you want to call it. But the idea is to take these patterns, these movements that we're not necessarily that great at for a physical reason and improve them by working on those little supplementary exercises that allow us to gain range of motion, mobility, strength in positions we don't necessarily have strength in, without causing us to need recovery from this active recovery, so to speak. All right, so those are the things I want you guys to pick from today. Try and get upwards of 30 minutes, and then finish that off at the end with a little ROMWOD type stretching series that I'm about to show you and demonstrate. It's going to be 4 different movements, And each different movement is going to be done on each side, each leg, so to speak. We have a little bit more lower body driven stuff at the end of the week here, so I want to focus on the lower half. And each one is going to be a 2-minute hold, if you will. So just long enough for us to be a little bit uncomfortable and settle into the stretches a little bit more. So stay tuned. I'm going to roll you guys through those movements, those stretches, so to speak, and then choose your weapons today. One is going to be a lizard stretch. Front leg off to the side of the hip a little bit, heels down. Back leg is trying to be as flat as it can be. The idea here is I'm trying to open up this hip a little bit, and if this hip flexor is tight, I'm probably going to feel it, meaning this back side. The goal should be, if we start here, to get down to the forearms. We can always side edge the front foot, push the knee out, move back and forth a little bit, shift forward and back a smidge to try and get into that hip. It's up to you, but try and find some space, try and gain some extra range of motion. From here, we're going to shift back into a hamstring stretch. I like to sit down on this leg, but then again, I don't have any flexibility or mobility issues in this knee or this ankle, so it's not something that becomes uncomfortable for me. This, however, tends to be a little bit uncomfortable on my left leg. So the idea, heels down, toes up, even pulling that toe back, trying to keep the knees straight, leaning forward a bit into that hamstring pull. From here, I'm going to shift to a pigeon stretch, a true external rotation stretch in that left hip. Ideally, I'm trying to get my front leg, left leg in this scenario, lower left leg technically, as close to perpendicular to my spine as I can. If I can't, and get my knee and shin down nice and flat, then obviously I need to bring that foot back towards my right hip a little bit, with the goal of being able to completely relax and kind of lay ourselves down on the floor. All right, back leg, same position as the lizard stretch. From here, this is going to be the only one where you're going to have to switch and shift your legs around, because we want to be able to go through all 4 of these on the same hip first, okay? So in order to get to the left leg on this, I'm going to have to turn over and get essentially into the beginning of a lizard position on the right leg. I prefer to lean back using my right hand to grab my left foot, because it makes it a little easier to turn that foot in. However you get into it, it's up to you. But the idea is we're falling forward on the right foot. I'm pulling my left heel to my left butt cheek, and I should be getting all of that stretch and pull through the quad and the hip flexor on the left side or the side of the back leg. So like I said, about 2 minutes each side. Preferably run through an entire sequence on one side before you guys switch and shift to the other. So left, 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 right, 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 what have you.